Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this Men's College World Series post-game press conference with Tennessee. We are joined now by head coach Tony Vitello. Coach, if you could please give us a brief opening statement, then we will move to questions from the media. Thank you.
Sure. We got beat today in a few different facets. Andrew Abbott was outstanding. Chad Dallas gave us a good start to things too, but Abbott was in and out of the zone and clearly effective. I thought there were some moments there, whether it be on the mound or at the plate, where we lacked conviction, and it cost us a little bit. And then, towards the end of the game, once the score wasn't the way we wanted, we kind of uncharacteristically, I don't know what's rolled over is not the right word, but kind of lost our edge a little bit, which has been so beneficial to us. So ball fans deserve better because I know they came out in big numbers and certainly have helped us get to this point too. But it wasn't like there wasn't some try hard out there and some preparation. If anything, maybe there was a little bit too much of that. And for all those fans that did watch, certainly not the happiest Father's Day for our crew, but it is Father's Day, so that'll be the next thing that everyone needs to celebrate in our locker room. And then we need to turn the page and have some good preparation tomorrow to prepare for Tuesday afternoon. That's all I got.
Thank you very much, Coach. We will now go to questions from the media. As a reminder, when you are called upon for your question, please state your name and affiliation. Let's go first to Michael Wilson. Michael, go ahead.
Mike Wilson, Knoxville News Sentinel. Tony, you said your team lacked conviction in moments. Why do you think that is, and what did that look like to you today?
I think, you're standing on this field and you can get caught up in your thoughts a little bit. What's on the line? It's certainly a new setting. It's, the first time back at it after a week or so. So you can feel for things instead of just doing things. And I would hope our guys, they're always good about kids and autographs, in my opinion, and spending their time. I hope they all get stopped on the way to the bus or on the way back to the hotel by a kid and sign an autograph or dish out a high five and have a good reminder there that this is a little leaguer game. This is the only sport, I think, where the coach dresses up, almost in a Halloween costume to be out there. So it needs to be treated as such, regardless of the environment. I wouldn't, follow-up question may be, was the moment too big or any of that stuff. I just think, a pretty good pitcher out there that made pitches when he needed to. And we could have helped ourselves in situations by, being on the attack a little bit more. In the proper baseball fashion, in a loose manner or aggressive manner, than kind of feeling our way through some stuff.
Let's go next to Ben. Ben, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Tony, you had 3 opportunities in the first 6 innings with at least 2 runners on and nobody out. What did you see in those instances? And then do you think that maybe led to the big 7th inning for Virginia, maybe demoralizing the guys and maybe helped open up the floodgates there?
I think to steal what I talked about with one of our wins was I gather they kind of got a little momentum. It's easy to swing the bats when you're up and leading, especially as you get deeper into the game. You start to relax on offense. And so I think it contributed more to their offense as opposed to us on defense. Chad threw the ball really well. Like I said, at times – there was a pitcher here or there that lacked conviction. That's going to pop up when you throw, 75 pitches or so. And they did a good job of executing on some of those pitches. But, no, it definitely impacted the game. There's a chance to throw a blow in the first inning, and then a couple other times. You don't really know how the game would have changed. But regardless, the narrative still would have been there was moments where we didn't play baseball the way that we need to, the way we're capable of, and also in the fashion that got us to be able to play in this stadium.
Let's go next to Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Ryan Shumpert, VolQuest. In that 7th inning, things kind of unraveled. Just what did you see, and then specifically what did you see from Sean when he came in?
Sean's rarely, right over the heart of the plate. And on 2 pitches that they executed on, that was the case. So, who knows? He might be able to answer things for himself. In my opinion, the guy's asked to do a ton. So every now and then it's not going to work out great for you. But, again, going back to original answer, I think they had a little momentum getting out of a couple key situations where they were in danger. And, as much as I said that you can't get in your feelings to our guys, or you got to control your emotions, this is a kid's game, and it is a big stage, so emotions and momentum can help you a little bit. And I think that maybe was the cause of them getting to two of our better guys a little bit.
Ryan, do you have a quick follow-up?
No, I don't. I'm fine.
All right, let's go next to Troy. Troy, please go ahead.
Hey, Tony, Trip over here from the Daily Times. I just wanted to ask you specifically about one of those ABs of the guy on third when Liam hits that line drive to second. When Cordier catches that ball, I guess what's kind of the feeling in that dugout, and does it kind of just feel like it just might not be our day type of thing?
I don't think necessarily. I mean, there was a time, can't point it out entirely, where there maybe was a little bit of a deflating feeling. But yeah, Max Ferguson, who was probably as locked in as any of our guys today, incredibly loose, but also in every pitch with his heart and soul. And that's the guy that's coming up. So I can't speak for the rest of the team, but my immediate thought was, they had him played in the right spot. You make your own luck. So I don't believe it was an unlucky break. We just didn't find a hole in that situation, and we had a really good player up the next AB, and he had a great at-bat. They just made a nice play defensively.
All right, we'll take a few more questions. Let's go next to Trey. Trey, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, when you come into a game like this and the pitching performance that you got from Dallas and they're trying to work the pen, what was your impressions of what Virginia was doing to advance the runners, besides getting hits? I mean, that's obvious, but to advance the runners and be aggressive, was that something that you were hoping you guys would maybe do today on the base path?
Yeah, I think the freedom to do things offensively opens up a little bit as you have a lead, or you kind of call it the pour it on approach. When there's a run or two scored and guys can get emotional or down in the field and thoughts can start, spiraling a little bit out of control. I don't know that was necessarily the case, but it can lead to being able to get a bunt down and surprise somebody, or being able to steal a base. So, Pav made a couple nice throws. It's not like Sean's not good at holding on runners, but I think what you're alluding to is they were able to steal a couple bags. But I think that followed, getting a little bit more of a comfortable lead. This was a night unlike yesterday, where, a 2-run lead is kind of like a 4-run lead last night because of the environment and the way the ball was carrying and whatnot.
All right, we'll go next to Wes. Wes, go ahead.
Yeah, Tony, I'm wondering, the way that y'all bounced back there in Hoover, that one didn't start the way you wanted to either, but you put together a run. Is that something that guys can kind of draw from the next 36 or 48 hours while they're sitting here, maybe not stewing over this, but thinking they've done it before and they can do it again?
I think so, for sure. It's nice when things go the way it did in the regional and the super regional. But to be honest with you, our brand name is to bounce back and to answer. So, yeah, there's no need to stew. There is extra time between now and that game. So the time will be right to start doing what you're talking about and prepare to answer back in the fashion that they do and have done, and Hoover is one example. And the teams here are pretty special, but the teams in our league are downright good too. So that's an instance they can call on and learn from and basically kind of use the blueprint that happened there. But the blueprint started a long, long time ago. And as much as I probably was a little aggressive with them there at the end of the game, the thing I left out was they're built for this. So that'll be up to them as well as the coaching staff to kind of gather up that same approach we had in Hoover.
Is the plan to still go with Blade on Tuesday, or is that a discussion that'll be made over the next couple of days?
Yeah, he's been prepared to start on Tuesday, so we'll get together at practice tomorrow and decide if anything unique needs to be done. But as of now, he's been prepared to be that guy regardless of today's outcome.
We'll do one final question. Let's go to Madison. Go ahead, Madison.
Hey, Coach, obviously not the outcome that you wanted today, but you speak on it being Father's Day. As you made your head coaching debut at the College World Series on Father's Day with your dad just sitting a few rows back behind the dugout, What did that moment mean to you to have your dad here on college baseball's biggest stage?
You know, I think it's special for every kid's dad, and I guess I still consider myself a kid a little bit. I mean, Pete Durkee, his dad is around all the time. He had a great day today. You know, all the other guys too. I mean, father figures in their life are around. So I think the one thing that's nice about the gap between now and Tuesday is there can be some kind of moment where you can relish the fact that they were all, like my dad, able to be here today. You know, right or wrong, I don't think I'm soulless, but you can't really get caught up in that too much. Got a job to do preparation-wise and game-wise. And anyone who's met my dad knows that, you know, this evening won't be quite as joyous as it could have been with a win. But that's kind of the nature of competitiveness. And, you know, he gets to sit in the stands on Tuesday too. So I hope I do a little bit better job with our guys. And I hope all the Vol fans, like I said, that went well out of their way. It was astounding how many people were at our hotel, get what they deserve and get basically a soulful effort out of our guys. You know, wins and losses at this deal, it can be crazy. So not too worried about that, but I'd like people to be able to see our guys play Vol baseball on Tuesday.
Coach, thank you very much for taking time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all. Take care and happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from Connor Pavoloni. If you have a question for Connor, go ahead and use the raise hand function and we will get to as many as we can. Thank you for joining us today, Connor. We will get started with questions. Let's go first to Michael Wilson.
Yeah, Connor, Tony said that there were moments that seemed like you guys lacked conviction or just didn't have that edge you usually have. Why do you think that is, and how did that kind of show itself today?
I couldn't tell you what led to it. I agree with him. I think there were times where we needed to have conviction, we didn't, and he also made some big pitches and some big moments. So I mean, credit to that guy. And but I couldn't tell you why or specific moments when. The game kind of went by pretty quick, but there were a couple times with runners in scoring position. I'm sure you could say, you know, put the ball in play right here, and he made pitches when he needed to, and I think that's a big reason why we didn't do it.
We'll go next to Ben. Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, Connor, two things for you. Just what was Abbott doing so well on the mound to prevent you all from taking advantage of some of those early inning opportunities, and then what did you see from Chad and Hundley there in the seventh, I believe it was, or maybe the sixth, that led to that big inning?
I think Abbott's fastball was playing up in the zone. It was on the scouting report. It's, you know, a fastball with a high spin rate, and it plays well up in the zone, and we kind of just fed into what he was trying to do and never made an adjustment. So I think that's what he kind of went back to when he needed to get a strikeout or with two strikes, and we just never adjusted to it. And when it comes to Chad, I think he battled out there like he usually does. I mean, dude's a winner. It doesn't matter if he has his best stuff or if he doesn't. You know, he goes out there and he competes and he gives you everything he has. And you know, he hung one curveball that just happened to fly out of the yard. And as for Hundley, I think that's who Hundley is. He just fills it up, and I don't think they ever really hit many balls hard. They probably hit a couple, but for the most part, he was just filling it up and doing what he does and just trying to compete.
We'll go next to Ryan. Ryan, go ahead.
Feels like when y'all have given up big innings this year, it's a lot of been due to the home run. In that seventh inning, when it was single after single, do you feel like that maybe led to a little bit more demoralization for the team or kind of losing the juice?
No, I mean, whether it's a home run or a single, a run's a run. I think it hurt more when they got cap singles or something like that. It just seemed like everything was going against us. But I think we were doing everything we could to keep our spirits up, because our offense can flip this game in one inning. You know, I wouldn't put it past us to put 6 runs up in an inning. We've done it multiple times this year, and I don't think we were ever out of this game at any point until the game was over. So, you know, I wouldn't say demoralized is the right word, but yeah, it hurt a little bit seeing that.
Let's go to Wes next. Go ahead.
Yeah, Connor, the way that y'all bounced back in Hoover, obviously that was maybe a different kind of loss because it went the way it did and you thought you'd won it, but y'all seemed to come back with a lot of steam the few days after that. Does that give you confidence that this team can do this again? I know the stage is different, but it was a big deal then too.
Yeah, I agree the stage is different, but I don't think this is any different than the SEC tournament. in terms of competition or in terms of, you know, just the park. You know, it all looks the same. It's a little bit bigger. There's a little more seats. But yeah, I think this team's built for this. You know, we're not going to win every game, and we don't expect to win every game. But, you know, when we do lose a game, we come back and want to win the next one a little bit more. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do on Tuesday.
Do you think with it potentially being, you know, if you lose the game in Hoover, you're still going to the postseason, right? You still got more games to play. Will it be any different? The potential that the next loss could end the season?
Probably. I don't think we should approach it any different. I just think we need to be ourselves, especially with our backs against the wall. I don't think anybody's going to go in there and say, oh, this could be our last game of the season. I think we're going to go in there and say we just want to win, just like we've gone into every game this year, especially bouncing back from a loss. We're just going to go in there and try to play our game, and whatever the scoreboard says, but we're going to control what we can control, attitude, effort, and doing everything we can with conviction.
All right, we'll go to one final question from Ben. Ben, please go ahead.
Yeah, Connor, what was just Coach Vitello's message out there in left field after the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the opening question kind of summed it up. There were times where we just didn't have enough conviction in what we were doing, and every single team that's in Omaha right now has a chance to win it, and you can't do that to high-level teams like the teams we're going to play, and I think that's just kind of a big reason why we lost, is just we didn't do a lot with conviction. But that's kind of what he was saying to us. It was just, you know, we got to have conviction with what we're doing, because we got a really good club. We have one of the best offenses in the country, one of the best defenses in the country, and we have people who are going to throw strikes when they get on the mound. So there's no reason for us not to go out there with confidence and conviction, and I think that's what we're going to do on Tuesday.
If I could follow up real quick, just what does that conviction look like?
I have an example just for myself. I check swung on a 3-1 heater in my first AB. Not sure why. It was just one of those things. You know, I think that's just kind of what he's talking about, is not buying into what you're trying to do, or like Coach V says, is not just putting your soul on the line for it. We were trying to do a little bit too much, and that's what happens. But I think on Tuesday it's going to be a different story. You know, everybody's going to go out there and give everything they have for the University of Tennessee, and I think the outcome's going to be a little bit different.
Connor, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
That'll do it for today's press conference. You can find a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.veritone.com. You can also find a transcript of this press conference at NCAA